You guys know me, one of my favorite things that Dallas can give us is a brand new scene from The Chosen Season 5. Now this one we did see at ChosenCon, and I have talked about it a little bit, but I'm really excited to walk through it with you guys and to be able to talk about this scene again, deep dive into some of the interesting kind of hidden things here and talk about what Jesus is going through during Passover week. So let's jump into this and see what it's all about. So first things first, actually, I believe this scene starts a little bit earlier whenever we got it from ChosenCon. There was a moment before this where Jesus, wearing his hood and his scarf there, is standing on the rooftops of Jerusalem, or the wall of Jerusalem, looking toward the temple. And so we actually see a bunch of different people around this area who are kind of just doing things for the night. I think we also see him as he interacts with the choir, which is connected to little James, which we're going to talk about in season 5 as well. We're going to get a flashback to little James kind of trying out for the choir and being part of that early process. Remember in season 1, he talks about how he was a singer. He was headed to Jerusalem to become part of the 288. This is in reference to the 288 choir, which we see, I think, multiple times in season 5. We haven't really seen it quite yet, but in season 5, we're going to see it quite a bit. We've seen it in the behind the scenes. So he sees a bunch of different people there as he's kind of looking over Jerusalem. He's just trying to find some time alone here. So if you listen to the song here, this is actually a reference back to what we heard the apostles playing in Lazarus's house. Especially in the behind the scenes, we saw this quite a bit, where the apostles and Lazarus and his sisters and Jesus, they're all really, really excited for the behind the scenes of season 4. Right at the end of the season, basically, we see them all, one of the last days of filming. All of them are together in Lazarus's house, and they're singing this exact song here, in Lazarus's house, and they all have instruments and they're clapping, they're having a great time. So that's a nice callback there. Again, creating this culture of like, oh, maybe they always sing this song during celebrations or different things like that. I don't think it's a specific song, but definitely fits the vibe of kind of an early Jewish get together.
I love a good party, but I'm curious, it's a bit more mirth than usual for the Passover, no? Not that I mind.
Reuben and Ruthie's parents just announced their betrothal.
Ah, wonderful.
Come on! What? Come on!
So you see the married couple here, or the betrothed couple here, the husband and wife, and the rest of them are celebrating, right? This is an interesting thing during Passover. Obviously, betrothals can happen at any time, so this would be a really interesting thing. It's kind of like having your wedding ceremony on Christmas, though. You know, it's not quite a normal thing, I would say, but it is interesting to see it here.
You're always this nice with strangers?
You're not a stranger now, you're family.
Say, I thought the dancing would be better.
Somehow, I think we're getting worse.
So Jesus throws back his head and his hood kind of goes back. Now, one of the things that we're going to see in this scene is that nobody kind of recognizes Jesus until his hat is off or his hood is off, and then someone shouts out Hosanna here in a second. But it's interesting because, of course, this would be the case. Most likely, most people would not recognize Jesus, especially earlier on in the week. There's probably a lot of people that would, right? A lot of people are waiting for him to come into the city, to be the new Messiah, to kind of be the new king of Israel. But there would be a lot of people that probably wouldn't recognize him because there's literally millions of people who would have heard about Jesus or knew about Jesus, but may have not seen him face to face yet during this week. Yeah, it's an interesting thing here to see that. But of course, he throws his head back, the hood falls off, and then we get this moment here. love that it's a kid that points him out. Just amazing moment here. But of course, this shuts down the whole wedding.
Hosanna! Hosanna in the highest!
Hosanna. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. Please, rise. There's no need to draw attention. Please.
What?
So this is an interesting thing as well. I think they were careful here because in the past they've had certain things like with Nicodemus, for example, in season 1, they had these moments of like Nicodemus bowed to him and he says, basically, you don't have to do that, which is true. I don't think there's anything wrong with the scene that they had, but there was some controversy over Nicodemus bowing to Jesus and telling him not to do that. Here it's a similar thing, but I think they handled it a little bit better. He's like, no, I don't want to draw any attention, right? In order for people not to come and bother him during this time. So I thought they handled that a little bit better for sure.
What are you doing here?
Well, I was just out for a walk, and I suppose I got swept up in your joy.
I love that line there. I got swept up in your joy. Love that.
Congratulations on your betrothal. I will leave you to your celebration. This night is not about me. Shalom, shalom.
I wonder if Jesus would say that. That is a question in my mind. This night is not about me. I think every night is about him. I think everything is about him. And so it's hard for me to say this night is not about me. I get what he's trying to say in a human sense, but from a divine sense, definitely not true. So I wonder if I would have written that. I don't think I would.
Rabbi, will you bless us before you go?
I like that it's the woman that's asking this. This would have been a very rare thing for sure, for this woman to step up like this. Of course, several women would come to Jesus quite often, but definitely not not normally in the face of their families or their husbands or their betrothed, right? I think most likely it would have been the man who spoke up here because the woman would have felt like she was speaking up out of turn during this time. But I love that they did have her speak up to kind of show that courage of her faith here. And of course, I think there's a tie here as well to Jesus's parents, right? We see Joseph and Mary. Of course, the big event of Mary getting pregnant and all of that happened during the betrothal. So you can imagine a Mary and Joseph in this same exact kind of predicament here as God blesses their union, but then obviously causes a lot of chaos here with Jesus being coming into the world, right? With Mary being pregnant with Jesus there. So I think there's some sort of tie there as well to Mary and Joseph, which is fitting because, of course, this is the end of Jesus' life. Kind of tying back to the beginning of Jesus' life is quite interesting as well.
Come here, my children. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who created joy and gladness, groom and bride, mirth, song, delight and rejoicing, love and harmony, and peace and companionship. May God bless you, Reuben and Ruthie. May your daughters be like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, and your sons like Ephraim and Manasseh.
So a beautiful prayer there. Now we see Jesus use these prayers all the time. Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who does this and this and this, right? Shows us that God is our provider, that he takes care of everything in the world for us. And so we're seeing that again here positioned toward marriage, saying that they want their daughters to turn out like some of the biggest biblical figures, right, of women there, and then their sons to turn out like some of the biggest sons, Ephraim and Manasseh, who are the sons of Joseph, I believe. And so, yeah, really interesting stuff there. Of course, he's just trying to bless their marriage and bless their union and as they get into it, which of course would be amazing. I mean, having Jesus physically be there and pray over your marriage it would be really, really. I mean, how could you get a divorce, right? How could you leave that person for sure if your marriage is blessed by Jesus himself?
Our union was just blessed by thee, son of David.
I love that they're making that connection as well. Of course, they still have kind of a wrong idea of who Jesus is. They still think he's going to be a conquering king, that he's going to have dominion kind of on this Roman occupation and everything that's happening. That's not quite true.
And to all present here tonight, may the light of the Paschal feast burn within you, that with heavenly desires and pure minds, you may attain the festival of everlasting light, the kingdom I am bringing into this world. Chag Pesach Sameach, my friends.
So that means basically happy Passover.
Chag Pesach Sameach.
Thank you.
Hosanna!
Yeah, very, very cool stuff there. Of course, I'm really excited to learn more, to see more from that scene in particular. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. I think that's going to be pretty early on in the season, if I were to guess, maybe episode 2 or 3. Yeah, I'm really interested to see how this season kind of lays out timeline-wise and where we're going to see certain things happen. Of course, we know the beginning and the end. We're going to get the triumphal entry, then we're going to get the betrayal. But the things that happen in between, I think, could be moved around slightly for the Chosen. So, yeah, we'll see how it happens, and love to hear your thoughts. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.